Josh Allen, have a great year. Thanks
Peter.
a lot.
Appreciate you. Oh.
For NBC Sports, Bills Camp, this is Peter King. All the best to you.
You still got it?
Yeah, we got it.
Thank you.
I'll see you. We did it.
Way to hang in the pocket there, Josh Allen. Under pressure. Peter King is crisscrossing the country on his annual training camp tour. Today, he is in Irvine, California for Rams camp. But he joins us now from his very neat and well-kept hotel room with his nice made bed. So he's getting mileage, he's getting hotel points and cool points with housekeeping because he's got a nice, neat hotel room.
I just like the fact that Josh Allen didn't waver. He did not. He kept it there. He stayed there. And then you notice Peter, like when he's done with his little, like, you know, for NBC Sports on Peter King, then he turns to him like sort of like, hey, that was great, thanks. Like not even recognizing it. And Josh,
I had no clue.
Yeah, at the very end, if you notice, Josh says, well, I had my hand out, I was trying to shake, and then Peter's like just dismisses it. It's like, yeah, we got it. We did a shake. I shook your hand. What are you doing, Josh Allen? There you go. I like that. Smooth.
But the great one, Matthew, the great one was when I went to Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes had seen it, so before we started, he wanted to do something afterwards to sort of stick it into Josh. So if you look at the tape, the full tape, I'm not sure how much we actually ran of it, but he shook my hand once and he said, hey, give me another shake. Come on in. So he took a long, and he wouldn't let go of my hand. Anyway,
that's fantastic.
I think that was one quarterback sort of needling another.
That's fantastic. The lesson is when you get left hanging, just hang in there. And you can catch all of Peter's training camp tour videos, of course, at youtube.com/NFL on NBC. You got
Peter, as you go on the rest of this tour, and we saw the graphic before, I just think you should make it a goal to each time with the starting quarterback of that team, make it a little bit of a longer handshake. So that by the very end of the tour, it's like you and Davis Mills shaking hands for like 20 minutes. That's what I think it should be.
Hey, I hope I get to shake Matthew Stafford's hand today, and I'll try to be gentle because I don't want to aggravate his elbow.
Oh, yeah.
No, please don't. Shake his left hand.
I was out there recently at Rams camp, and he's more irritated by questions about his elbow than he is the actual elbow. But we'll get to that another time. But you mentioned Chiefs camp. You've been out there to Kansas City's camp. You have seen the Chiefs in person. How is that wide receiver, and for that matter, running back pecking order playing out around the aforementioned Patrick Mahomes?
Well, I think it's given Mahomes really new life. It's definitely given Andy Reid new life because they hear the outside world. They're really going to be diminished without Tyreek Hill. But I think the one guy here, for fantasy purposes, who I'd be very interested in is JuJu Smith-Schuster. Look, McCole Hardman is going to get the opportunity to be Tyreek Hill in many ways. Maybe he will be. But all I know is that the day I was there, I expected to see JuJu Smith-Schuster planted in the slot like he was in Pittsburgh over the years. JuJu Smith-Schuster was all over the formation. So that's one thing. He's deliriously happy, loves his role. It really has brought a good spirit to Kansas City with him. And the other guy who I think is going to be very interesting there is Sky Moore. I think Sky Moore will be a Swiss Army knife. I think he will be a poor man's Deebo Samuel. And I have no idea how much he'll play, how many snaps he'll get, but those are two guys who intrigue me in Kansas City.
Peter, I love the call of JuJu Smith-Schuster, and I think you're absolutely right. I think people forget just how bad Ben Roethlisberger was the last 2 years, and people forget how good JuJu was his rookie year, his second year. He was explosive. He was making big plays down the field, and then they ended up turning him into, in Pittsburgh the last 2 years, they turned him into Ryan Switzer, like this possession receiver, because literally Ben's arm was shot and he couldn't go down the field. Now he goes from Ben Roethlisberger to Patrick Mahomes. We talked early in the show about how big a quarterback upgrade makes. Think about Cooper Kupp going from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford last year. So going from last year Ben Roethlisberger to current day Patrick Mahomes is just a massive upgrade. And you consider the fact that with Byron Pringle and Tyreek Hill out, 219 targets from Andy Reid's offense last year are up for grabs. Look at this stat, Peter. Last year, in his career, JuJu Smith-Schuster's had 36 games where he's gotten 7 or more targets. In those games, he averages 18.1 fantasy points per game. I think JuJu is a fantastic value this year because everyone's like, is it going to be him? Is it going to be MVS? He was bad the last 2 years with Ben. I don't think they appreciate what you saw at Chiefs camp, which is that JuJu is still, he's still 25. Yeah, I mean, people forget, he's been in the league so long, they forget how young he was when he came in. So love the call of JuJu. And as for Sky Moore, trendy sleeper, but after Kelce and JuJu, I don't know that there's enough targets to go around for consistent fantasy value for a third person in the Chiefs offense. So Moore is a guy to, I think, is a better dynasty pick than necessarily a redraft guy, although I don't mind a late flyer on him in drafts.
Yeah, the one other thing I would say is, you know, last year, and look, I'm not familiar with all the fantasy implications of this, but last year, Mark Andrews was everybody's darling in fantasy football, rightfully so. I would be surprised this year if Mark Andrews' production outpaced Travis Kelce's. And in my feeling, or my feeling is that the security blanket in Kansas City, particularly early, is going to be more important than ever. I really like Kelce.
And that's just the wide receiver room. Certainly a lot of intrigue at running back as well, with Isaiah Pacheco being a star at camp in the backfield. But let's move on to the Packers pass catchers. Like Patrick Mahomes losing Tyreek Hill, of course, Aaron Rodgers lost Devontae Adams. How is that wide receiver hierarchy taking form? Is it rookie Romeo Doubs, Aaron Rodgers' #1 guy?
That's how it looked to me when I was there. But, you know, again, Michael, I think we got to be careful of what happens in the summer. We have to be careful at training camp about what happens for a very simple reason. I've been doing this now for, I mean, honestly, I've been going to training camps for 38 years. And so often you get fooled by what you saw in 1 or 2 practices. What I saw in Green Bay was Romeo Doubs, the 4th-round pick from Nevada, all over the field, getting tremendous respect from veteran defensive backs after catches, you know, going up to him and tapping his helmet, you know, fist bumping, whatever. And you can tell that the respect is there. They think that this guy is a big timer and is going to play a big role right away. I think the biggest question is Christian Watson has missed some time, obviously, with a bad back. And, you know, Romeo Doubs is just leap in front of him. And who knows what that portends for October and November. But for right now, I would be surprised if it wasn't Lazard and Doubs 1A and 1B. I think their production's going to be close early.
Wow, that would be fantastic if Doubs somehow matched or was close to Allen Lazard's production, because I think everyone's going into the season assuming Lazard's clearly the #1. And yeah, I think there was a lot of early buzz on Christian Watson when he got drafted, but I've heard Aaron Rodgers talk up Doubs as well. Hearing what you're saying here as well, Peter, is interesting. Aaron Rodgers is not a guy that sort of blows smoke. When he's very specific in front of the media, and so for him to mention Doubs in a positive light the way he has, I think has a specific reason. So I'm there. It is worth noting, obviously, with Devontae Adams now in Las Vegas, there's some massive fantasy appeal here in what we expect to still be one of the best offenses in the NFL with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Get this, with Allen Lazard. He's had 6 different games in his career with 6 targets or more. In those games, 16.1 fantasy points per game. Lazard had like a 6 for 146 and a touchdown in the one game that Devontae Adams didn't play last year as well. It would be hard for me to think Doubs has that kind of production. But again, I think he's a name that isn't on a lot of people's radars at the moment. Peter, Doubs is being drafted in just 4% of Yahoo leagues, just 4%. So hearing what you're saying, huge mistake.
A huge mistake.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're not, if you're not drafting however many rounds you're going to have in your draft, if you're not drafting, if he goes undrafted in your league, you're not paying attention. He's going to have production in that offense.
Yeah, and if you're not listening to and reading Peter King, you're doing it wrong. But we've known that for a lot of years.
Long
Peter.
time.
Thank you so much for taking the time out, man. Cheers. We will pour you a drink next time we see you.
Thank you.
Make sure you
Michael,
check out
I just want you to think of one name now. One name.
Okay.
Wan'Dale Robinson. All you people in the last round of your draft, if he's there, take him and thank me later.
Will do. Wan'Dale Robinson, New York Giants rookie wide receiver, second-round pick out of Kentucky. Peter King's training camp tour videos available at youtube.com/NFL on NBC. Thanks so much, Peter.
All right, guys, take care.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.